Media has come a long way in the last few decades, and over this time, technology has developed to enable this media to expand, enhance, and cross over into ways that have become more accessible. More access to watch our favourite TV shows on the go, playing video games on our mobile phones, and even just being able to watch new release films at home on streaming platforms. These are just some examples of digital media. Digital media also combines this and creates multiple different ways to tell a story on different platforms. This is called transmedia storytelling, which can be through television, film, comic books, podcasts, and video games, just to name a few. Throughout this audiovisual essay, not only will I be discussing transmedia storytelling, but I will be talking about Naughty Dog's 2013 game, The Last of Us, and its transmedia storytelling mediums. I will also be including other examples that exist within the realm of transmedia, and how this old media persists in contemporary time. Transmedia storytelling is media that is dispersed over different platforms. As Scolari explains, it is stories told across multiple media. This means that these stories flow across these multiple media platforms simultaneously. In the case of my main example, The Last of Us, transmedia storytelling of this exists through video games, graphic novels, and now a HBO show. The Last of Us takes place largely in the year 2033 and follows a smuggler, Joel, and a teenage girl, Ellie, who just so happens to be immune by the cordyceps virus that took over the country. Together they must travel across the country in a hostile world filled with infected to survive. There was almost a film adaptation back in 2014, but was cancelled. Since then, however, it has spawned several other fan-made films and cosplays. The Last of Us was originally a video game for the PlayStation 3, but was then remastered for the PlayStation 4. It is also now backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5. The Last of Us also had a DLC titled Left Behind, which follows the events of Ellie during the winter section of the main game, and now a sequel called The Last of Us Part 2. It has also spawned a graphic novel based off Ellie's adventures before the events of The Last of Us. It also has interactivity and collective intelligence on fan page wikis, YouTube, and Reddit, just to name a few. It also has a podcast which talks about the game with the creators and actors, and even had a one-night live stage set. As Jenkins says, media convergence, participatory culture, and collective intelligence is evident in transmedia storytelling, and as Mala Pragada says, this shift not only created new media, but also transformed existing media of the 20th century. These platforms each have a unique language and changes the way a story unfolds on each platform. For example, in the game, it has a tutorial to teach you how to play it. This includes how to shoot, aim, and change weapons, etc. The HBO show, on the other hand, will dive in further to the story without having to teach the viewer how to use a weapon, as Druckmann reveals on Hype Beast. In contrast to the extended fight sequences and violence found in the game, Druckmann explains that the focus in the television adaptation has been to expand the philosophical underpinnings of the characters and the world they bring to life. Scolari further quotes Jenkins and exclaims that transmedia storytelling needs to be self-contained enough to enable autonomous consumption. This signifies that these stories across various media platforms can be picked up at any time by anyone, and I strongly argue that this is the case especially with The Last of Us. As Jenkins also says, transmedia entertainment is increasingly important in our conversations about how media operates in a digital era. The earliest approach of this concept of dispersing content across various platforms and media can be linked to a Japanese marketing strategy of media mix which originated in the 1960s. Just to reiterate my point of old media still being persistent, Mediascapes is the distribution of the electronic capabilities to produce and to disseminate information, and the image of the world created by these media, which is also how old media of transmedia operated. The dispersing of Japanese marketing was through the spread of anime with the interconnection of media and product goods. Scolari additionally states that transmedia storytelling is one of the most common approaches within media corporations, which we can now see was used within old media and now again within contemporary media too. Old media dispersed through media and product goods, which still exists today and especially heavily with The Last of Us. Some other early work of transmedia storytelling includes Harry Potter, The Blair Witch Project, and Lost, just to name a few. Joyce further demonstrates my point with another aspect of transmedia storytelling. Transmedia storytelling also requires a new audience habit, with fans working together to build knowledge of the narrative universe. In conclusion, from the history of Japanese marketing strategies that coined the idea of dispersed media to some of the other earlier transmedia storytelling media, what has changed is the technology and accessibility of this media, and how consumers are able to watch, play, and connect. The dispersing of media is not new, as evident from our research throughout this audiovisual essay, but rather it has just become more accessible due to the new technology that has only enhanced this old media to still exist within this new contemporary mediascape. Old media has not been erased, as it is the blueprint for these concepts, and without this blueprint we wouldn't have the media we have today.